Alright, so I am on the way to go see or go pick up my son from his dad. It'll take me about, I don't know, an hour to get out there. But I'm not looking forward to this because I think his dad's going to try to talk to me. I had texted him last night. Actually, it was a couple days ago, I think. And I just simply was wanting to know, like, what does he, what does he see Jackson, our son Jackson, doing in the next few years? If we're in a court custody case right now, if he were to, think about Jackson and what he wants for Jackson without thinking of the custody case affecting it, say, he wanted Jackson in football or soccer, he wanted to do this and that with Jackson, what would his desires, dreams, ideas be, to, I guess, I don't want to say improve, but to better Jackson's life and to make Jackson's childhood a little bit better? What are his dad's goals and dreams? And he never responded, and then he ended up, responding to me, I guess, like a day later, and he said, well, if you really want to push all the court stuff aside, we can sit down and talk about this like grown-ups. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, me and him don't get along very well. When we try to have face-to-face conversations, somehow they go sour, and we end up being a little frustrated with each other. We don't necessarily fight, but, it's one of those things where if you can feel it getting sour, you just end it, and you don't allow the conversation to continue because you don't want to fight in front of your kid. So, it ended up like, the conversation, what started as me asking him what are his goals and dreams for our son, turned into him accusing me of having ulterior motives because I only want to conversate with him via text or email. And I said, well, the reality of it is, the situation we're in, I feel like it's best to have those kinds of conversations through email or text because, when I do go to discuss what happened with my lawyer or with our guardian ad litem, then I don't have to try to recall what you said. And it doesn't sound like I'm just making it up, and it's not hearsay. I can say, here's our text message. This is exactly what he said. And I don't see an issue with that because it doesn't leave any room for me to twist his words. It doesn't leave any room for me to try to make the situation, elaborate on it or make it more elaborative or, color it up the way I want. So I don't see what the issue is with that. But he thinks that I'm going to try to use his words against him. And I'm like, well, what, if he thinks he's such a great dad and if he's not worried about, whatever, it's like, why are you even worried about me trying to use your words against you? Because if you're doing everything right, then you should have nothing to be worried about. Like, I am definitely not worried if he were to take my text messages and show them to his lawyer because I feel like I am doing everything I can the right way. So anyways, my point being is that was kind of what that's what's preceding this meeting today. Our exchange days happen every Sunday, and that's kind of what happened last night. And so heading out there now, I'm just like, oh, I don't want him to try to use our exchange day as a way to discuss it like grown-ups because I only want to discuss it through text message or email. I feel like when you're in a custody battle, that's the way to do it. So if he does try to discuss anything with me today, I'm just going to simply say, I don't have time time to talk about it. If you want to talk to me about it, you know my number. And I will get with my lawyer and say, hey, I only want our conversations to happen via text or email, because they get too heated too quickly when we're face to face. They get frustrating, they go sour, and it's not productive. And I like to be able to have the conversations to look back on, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that being in a custody case. I don't feel like that should be an issue. So, if I do sit down face to face with him, that just leaves the door open for him to say, "Oh, well, when we met on this day, she said this," and it would be hearsay, because he would feel free to twist up my words, or he always over exaggerates certain things of what I say, and I don't like that. So I'm probably gonna try to record what happens today, and we'll see what goes on. But I don't think that I'm being the manipulative one here. I don't think I have an ulterior motive. I told him straight up when we were texting last night. I said, it's not about having an ulterior motive. This is exactly the reason why I'm doing it. I told him, so I can show my lawyer, so I can show the guardian ad litem what you said. And that's, usually when you have an ulterior motive, you're not so upfront about your doings and why you're doing things. That's another thing that he's really bad at, is he likes to always, whenever we're conversating, he will always tell me, well, you did this because, or your reasoning for this was this. And it's like, you know what, that's my job to tell you why I did something, or to tell you why I felt that way, or to tell you what my intentions were. I don't like having a conversation with somebody that tells me, well, you did this because, and you said this because. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, but you don't know my reasonings unless you talk to me about it. And you're not trying to talk to me, you're trying to just, bully your way through this conversation and, take control of it. And I don't appreciate that. So that's why our conversations go so badly. And that's why we're separated, why we're in a court custody case, is we just couldn't get along. We couldn't conversate. We couldn't communicate. We're just not like-minded people. So we'll see how it goes.